Grand Rising, everybody. I'm not on a walk and talk today because it is raining outside. I'm on the balcony looking at the rain in my little small garden. So, um, there was a story that came out recently about a woman, a 62-year-old woman, beautiful woman, who was married to an inmate, and she was spending a conjugal night with this inmate, and she ended up dead. Okay, so around 2 a.m., her husband um, somehow called and said something, called out of the room that they were in, and he called for help and said that his wife had passed out. So she was pronounced dead. Stephanie Brinson is her name. At 2:51 a.m. That's the 8, 5, 2, and 1. 8 is the eighth house. That's the house of death. Okay. So, he said she just passed out. All right. So, Stephanie gets her last name Brinson from David Brinson, 54. David Brinson has been in jail since 1994. In 1990, he murdered 4 people in a robbery. 4 people. Now he took 4 people's lives trying to rob them. All right. So he's been in there since 1994 when he was convicted of the crime. I just don't understand why he did not get the D penalty. But maybe it wasn't illegal where he was at that time. I don't know. They need to bring that back for people convicted of things such as him, because that's like a mass killing. That's not, and you weren't trying to protect yourself. You were trying to rob somebody. So she allegedly and supposedly met this man somehow while he was in prison. She did not know him. She was not married to him for all those years. Nothing like that. She met this man while he was in prison. Now, he has life without parole. And he was going to school in prison, and then she and him would read the Bible over the phone. She was trying to get him to, quote unquote, be a better person. Okay? Now, this is what I'm reading. All right. Trying to get him to become a better person, make him into a Christian, and, in other words, she was trying to build a man, but whatever. All right, so we're not here to flame the victim at all, but I'm just saying, okay? So she meets this man in prison, marries him, and then schedules a conjugal visit, and he murders her. Why should anybody be surprised? I don't know. Now, it was discovered that he strangled her to death. That was what the coroner said, okay? He said she just passed out and then somehow died, but no, he strangled her to death. So, Stephanie Brinson, rest in peace, leaves behind children, I think 8 grandchildren, and she was taking care of her elderly parents. She also was a hairstylist, and she owned a business. Okay, so the people, her family they're devastated. They were talking about her being the glue that kept the family together, and now she is gone. I have heard quite a few stories about women marrying men who are in jail. I have a relative that's in jail. He's been in jail 33 years. And he married a woman. I don't know how they met, but he married her. She and him got married about maybe almost 10 years ago. They've been married 10 years. And he's in jail for double murder. I have a friend who married a jailbird. He's in jail for murder. He murdered one person, and I think it was robbery also. So what I am learning about these men who are looking for vulnerable women to marry them is that they need their support. Okay, not just financial, emotional. They need their legal support. They drain these women. They got them, looking for lawyers and trying to get their cases retried so they can get out. So these women are paying money for all of that, sending them money whenever they need it or ask for it. Just a very draining and one-sided experience this is, our situation, should I say. Okay, so I met two men online. One I met, he was in well, I didn't know he wasn't online. This was years ago. I met the mother of a young a dude that was in jail, but he wasn't in jail for that long, and we didn't end up dating or nothing like that. All right, but while he was in jail, I got in contact with him, and there's something similar about him way back then and how he used to talk and stuff with the dude that I met not too long ago, who's been in jail also for like, he's been in jail for like 20 years, 22 years, and he's supposed to be released in two or three more years. So I meet him on Fanbase, and at first he didn't tell me he was in jail. So he's using his phone through jail. So we're on Fanbase, and we find similar I'm not gonna say similar in some way, because I sure wasn't looking for no boyfriend on no social media. I was not. But he's into advocacy, certain advocacies according to him. Okay, this is the game that they play, and I was into that too. We were very he was kind of well versed on certain subjects that we talked about on Fanbase. So I gave him my number. We began to converse. So all of a sudden, he started asking me personal questions. Are you married? Where do you live? And stuff like that. And I was like, I didn't answer him directly. I wouldn't answer him directly. And then he started getting a little bit more, more intimate in what he was really after. Okay, all right. So one day he asked me to share. It was a post about him on social media, and what he's doing is he's trying to get his case retried so he can get out of jail. All right, because he doesn't have life without parole, but he's been in there for about 22 years or something like that, and he got 3 years to go. So I said, I'm just going I'm just going to post this for him about a couple of times on my Facebook, so people, maybe there's a lot of people who advocate for prisoners, and maybe they might see the post, and maybe they might try to help him with his case. Now, I don't know why he's so desperate to get out. Now, according to him, he only got a few more years, unless he's lying. All right. So I had to cut him off because I saw the game being played. All right. You women who meet these guys online, or maybe you meet them through somebody that mutually knows them outside in the world, or however you meet them, I'm telling you right now, there is only one thing especially a man that's in jail for the rest of his life, can do to you, and that's use you and drain you. And they quit to get you to marry them, because they know now that you really have a reason to want to help them do whatever it is they trying to do. Most times they're trying to get out after being convicted of horrible crimes, like taking somebody's life, trying to rob them for a few dollars, or take their car, or whatever, or went in their house, trying to take what or whatever they have in their house. This is what these fools are usually in jail for, and they're not getting out. I'm trying to figure out what makes a woman so desperate to marry a man who's in jail and got life without parole, or got life. What's making you so damn desperate to do something like that? I could see if you all were together before he went in. And even then, if I had a husband, I ain't lying. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll stick. And he did something stupid and got life without parole and all that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna stick around and just wait for him. Wait for what? Forever. I'll encourage him for a while or whatever. But I'm gonna go on and live my life. I'm gonna live my life. But these women don't even know these men. They're meeting them, you know, in other ways, and then these men are running all kind of games on them that's good enough and slick enough to have these women marry him. Marrying a man that got life in prison. How is that your husband? And then you want to complain about how you don't, you know, he's drained your finances. Every time you look up, he wants you to do something, talk to a lawyer or talk to people to advocate him. He needs this much money for this legal procedure. That is all that they want from you. They're using you. You cannot find no love with a man who has life without parole in prison. You can't do that. So I'm trying to figure out where is this desperation coming from? Is it that, because I hear a lot that a lot of women are having problems finding a decent mate, a decent mate in the community or whatever. If they ain't having problems finding them, they having problems with them. It's just a lot going on. Just a lot going on. They want to get married. They want children, but these men that they are meeting do not want the same. They're playing games on them. They're breaking their hearts and just wearing them out and draining them. And so they're having a hard time finding love. So maybe that just opens the door for young women, to get caught up with inmates who, I believe, they get together and they talk about and try to teach each other and put each other on game on how to meet women outside of jail to, to get them to be closer to them, and even to the point of marrying them so they could use them for whatever it is that they need. I believe that jail men do that with each other. They be giving each other game. So these men outside in the free world, y'all need to do something about yourself, because something like this should never really happen. A woman should be, I don't care what her age is. This lady was 62. She was beautiful. I kind of feel like she still should have been able to find somebody around her age range to love and to build from that point on. You know what I'm saying? Just to have somebody around and not try to, be so desperate to hook up with a man in prison that murdered 4 people, been in jail 30-some years. Oh my God. And her family, they're so devastated, and they just can't believe it. They say they don't understand. What you don't understand, the man killed 4 people in a robbery. You didn't expect him to have whatever it is that made him kill those people for nothing. You don't expect him to still have that what am I trying to say? Not be able to do that again? So I don't know why you're so surprised. I would have expected something like that. I don't know. I've been online and seeing people comment about this, and they said they would have never let their mother marry an inmate. They said they would have never let her do that. So, well, I don't know what they would have did to stop her, but I wish she'd have known better. She should have been had. It seems to me that there's plenty of men around her age why weren't they good enough? Or whatever. Or maybe she is in the same group of women who are complaining about the men in the real world and not being able to find love with them. So I don't know, man, you gotta step up. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know what type of spell you under. I just don't know. I don't know, but with so many women, and I'm not even the type of person that knows a whole bunch of people, but even out of the few people I know too many women that are with men who are in jail, and they met them after they went to jail somehow, usually through social media. It's not like they were already with these men. They met them after they were convicted and had been in jail for years. So, don't get caught up, ladies. I don't know what you're gonna do about love. You just have to keep trying and keep looking. Don't get caught up with no jailbird, because all they're gonna do is use and drain you. What else can they do? They can't do nothing for you. It's a one-sided relationship that's not even built on any type of foundation. You have no foundation with this person. Leave these inmates alone. Leave them alone. They made decisions, most of them. I understand that some people are in jail for things that they didn't do. I'm not talking about them. All right, that's a whole nother issue. But this man did this crime. All right. So y'all stay safe out there, ladies. Men, you got to buckle down and become boyfriends and husbands and fathers again. And start treating the women better. Some got to change. Some got to change. So y'all be safe out there. Women, love yourself more than you expect people to love you. Love yourself, please. Peace.